I'm a firm believer that, gays and lesbians need to go back in the closet. We don't need that stuff outwardly.
That is a point of view that you are entitled to. Have a nice day.
Fair enough.
Myron Gaines has been going nuclear on college campuses. Previously, he was at Penn State, and I think today or now or maybe yesterday, he's at South Carolina, and it's brought to you and brought to us by Uncensored America. Now, this clip's actually specifically about Myron going nuclear on homosexuality and transgenderism, forgive me. It is hilarious. I am becoming a very rather staunch supporter of Myron Gaines and his recent crusade on free speech absolutism, which I think is much needed in this current environment. But I was blown away by some of the things that he was saying here. The clip's amazing. We got a couple to go through, and it just gets a little bit more ridiculous each time. But props to Myron Gaines for putting this on. And for those who aren't familiar with him, Myron Gaines is the host of the Fresh and Fit podcast. As most women know him, the terrorizer of women, resident misogynist on YouTube, and kind of the more edgy version of the Whatever podcast. But without further ado, here's the first clip.
Hi.
Hey, so I really think your ideology is interesting. How do I apply it to my lesbian relationships?
Oh, well, you guys are useless to society, so.
So should I value her less or more?
Well, I mean, you guys can scissor and talk and have a good time, but you guys don't really provide for society.
Okay, so thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, if you're not contributing to a nuclear family, you're effectively useless to society, being honest. Also, I don't think lesbianism is real. I think it's just confusion a lot of the times. Because the reality is, because I've interviewed maybe almost 4,000 girls on my show, and girls that say that they're lesbian or bisexual, I always like to ask them, well, if you had to pick one gender for the rest of your life, who are you going to pick? And 9 out of 10 times it's the men, and the reason why is because men have to provide value in a relationship. Women don't, a lot of the times. Like with us, we have a multifaceted list of things that we have to bring to the table, whether it's being tall, strong, competent, financial resources. Men have to rise to the occasion to be able to get attention from the opposite gender. Women don't. So what ends up happening a lot of the times when there's lesbian or bisexual couples and are dating with women, the bar is low and they don't really provide value to each other. And then when the check comes, they're both looking at each other confused. So, there's a reason why lesbians have some of the highest rates of domestic violence. It just doesn't work.
So I heard your views on lesbians a moment ago, and I'm just curious how those views transfer to gay men. Do you believe they don't exist as well? Because you did say that lesbian relationships cannot exist because men are more multifaceted than women. That was your main argument point on lesbianism prior. And I'm just curious how that carries to.
So what are my thoughts on gay men?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are kind of useless to society too.
Fair, yeah. I am pretty damn useless.
But
not because I'm not having kids, just because I'm crazy.
Yeah, from the nuclear family perspective, right? I say that kind of, as a joke. But, yeah, I mean, I think the backbone of any thriving society is the nuclear family. And if people aren't contributing to that, I think it's problematic for society. So, gay men and lesbian women don't contribute to that, unfortunately. And I don't think gay men should be able to adopt children either. I think that's crazy. I don't think lesbian women should be able to adopt children either. I think kids need to be protected at all costs, and exposing them to sexual degeneracy is a problem, because that's what homosexuality and lesbianism is. I'm a firm believer that, gays and lesbians need to go back in the closet. We don't need that stuff outwardly.
That is a point of view that you are entitled to. Have a nice day.
Fair enough.
Points were made. No, I'm being 100% serious. That is hilarious. And kind of funny how he's leaving them kind of speechless, almost as if they are in environments where that kind of talk and speech is so intolerable that they never hear it. So when they actually do experience it in like a public platform like that, they really don't know what to do with it. And I think the point stands, obviously. This is all stuff that I support as well. Like, I agree with everything he's saying. I do find it to be, now, whether it's debatable if it's a mental illness with homosexuality, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, the point is, for real, when you look at it compared to the nuclear family and procreation and the net benefit to society. And I think the best part about that clip was when he ends, he says the fair enough. It's like, that's the white guy thing, right? When you don't have anything else to say, you're like, well, fair enough. And it's just funny, right? Obviously, Myron being Sudanese. But here's the next clip. And this one actually will shock you a little bit. I don't want to spoil it at all, but the next clip will leave you probably with your mouth open for a little bit. But here's the next one.
Oh, man, here we go.
Okay.
Hello.
Do I deserve more or less?
Are you a man or a woman?
I'm asking you. Do I deserve more or less?
Well, probably less.
Even now, when my voice is lower than yours.
Even less now. Because women only get in line when you have other women in line. Now, I know that... What was that?
He said you're not welcome on campus, prick.
Oh, look at this guy. Nice jorts. Nice jorts.
Hey, I have another question. Do you know who invented Wi-Fi? Like the technology for Wi-Fi?
Let me guess, a woman?
Well, yeah. So if it wasn't for a woman, your podcast, you wouldn't have one, and it wouldn't have gotten demonetized.
Oh, good one. Yeah, so here's the thing. We do direct connect on our pod, so...
I don't care.
Wi-Fi is... Oh, now it's I don't care. Okay, great.
Hello, sir?
Make sure to hit the gym as well.
Sir? Hey,
Hey, just being honest, man.
sir?
You're... Yeah, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Sir,
hey,
if you're here to
the
have
girls
a
aren't gonna fuck you,
conversation,
man.
I'm trying to have one with you.
Like, the girls aren't going to fuck you, bro. White knighting is not going to do it.
Okay, hi. Would you like to have an actual conversation?
This is fucking awesome. It's a learned skill that they need to develop to learn how to properly deal with women so
Why
that
do
they
you
don't
need to
end
learn
up...
how to deal with people?
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I teach guys to avoid women like you, as a matter of fact.
Thank you. Stay away
Yeah,
from me.
yeah, well, I don't know. You should be in the kitchen somewhere, but it's fine. We'll have this discussion. Because a man's job is to be a leader and be assertive and convey information. Women, you guys are supposed to be quiet and make sandwiches. That's the difference.
You can make your own sandwich. If you need to take a crash course on how to talk to other people, you can take a crash course on how to make a fucking sandwich.
Anyway.
If you're such a strong provider,
sound,
provide!
You sound mad that, like, do you know how to make a sandwich?
Yeah, I do. Want me to teach you?
No, thank you. That's a woman's job.
I think you mentioned you have an open relationship, but specifically on your end.
Only on my end, yeah.
So you take the nuclear family, which is a loyal and faithful husband.
Only women could be sluts. We are the slut makers. This girl's over here trying to call me a slut. Hey, we're the slut makers, man. There's no such thing as a man that's a slut.
Hey, so I really think your ideology is interesting. How do I apply it to my lesbian relationships?
Oh, well, you guys are useless to society, so.
I would be lying to everyone if I told you I did not shed tears of happiness when I watched through this the first time. I was laughing. It was hilarious. Now, I've watched through this a couple of times, and in all real talk, I will say, I do wholeheartedly disagree as a Christian nationalist with Myron's positioning on the open relationship, one-sided open relationship. I think, like most red pill guys, they're really good at calling out and reacting to what is bad, and terrible at offering decent and worthwhile solutions for moving things forward. But again, you have to admit, hilarious. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I often liken that kind of speech in the way that people talk like that, similar to Andrew Tate, as a breath of fresh air. It is why so many of these guys have millions of followers, is because there are many young men out there desperately seeking something that is not this entirely pastel colored room version, effeminate just weakness where you can never utter anything that might even be slightly deemed offensive, even if it's in a joking manner. Now, I hope I don't get copyrighted for the different sound bits that were in there, but I thought it was funny. It's like a different compilation of the smaller moments from Myron Gaines there and some of his different takes. But I mean, the thing that blew me away was the voice change, the voice flip. I mean, what was that, right? What are you? I don't. Mind blown on that one, right? I don't really understand. And the reason why that individual was asking, do I deserve less, is because I'll put on screen, I believe the campaign he's running is literally called Why Women Deserve Less, which I think is hilarious. It's obviously 4 words that will immediately light up a female because she's going to come in screaming, swinging, just overall irritated. Now, there is one smaller clip, and this is maybe just like an outro clip to show you the public reaction. But there were college students who were complaining, obviously. But this one was on video, it got recorded, and I thought it was hilarious. So here's this final clip of someone weeping, if you will.
That's what you can do. Not necessarily turning the country into like this we want to focus on each other. I think we have a net
I did not come to this school to deal with hate speech. I wouldn't have came here if I knew you were going to allow that.
Well, I'm assuming that's a lead up to something with
Don't speak to us. Your mom is our left school. I mean, your mom is our left school, but shut up.
stick around. I'd be happy to discuss that one.
About what? Yeah, I'm going to talk to you.
Well, here's the thing. We got a lot of people here. It's a very, I have to go into detail and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't satisfy me. I really don't.
So if you didn't catch that, there was a female complaining, saying that she did not come to this school to experience hate speech. Basically saying, like, if she would have known the school would have been willing to have hate speechers, she wouldn't have came. And you can see that it looks like the two gentlemen to her left are obviously disagreeing. They're saying, hey man, this is free speech. Like, what are you talking about? Clearly they are laughing about it. It looks like that group to the right is actually like, you know, get ready to like pile on like a mob. They're like, yeah, get him out of here, right? And this kind of breaks down the two different realities, if you will, when it does come to the argument people have over free speech. Now, there are individuals like myself who do take it as far as Myron Gaines, which I am a free speech absolutist. Like, I do not believe in hate speech. I think it's a ridiculous concept. I think obviously there's speech that could be targeted against certain people and groups, but to give it an extra degree of criminality because it's a targeted, I think is just absurd. I think it defeats the notion of free speech. But with that all being recorded and on screen, tell me how you feel. I guarantee there are going to be people in the comments, if this does take off, like the previous videos have, that are just going to be angry. They're going to be irritated. They're going to ask me all these ridiculous, retarded questions that I don't care about. W. Myron Gaines. I think that's awesome. Let me know what you think. And if you did make it this far, I appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like on the video. It helps me tremendously. And then share this video too, if you want other people to be offended or laugh with you. Depends on who you want to send it to, right? But with that, I appreciate it very much. And again, as always, we do run the Jar Openers podcast. You can find that on YouTube at the Jar Openers podcast. I do that with Worrell, and he operates the channel America First TV. And we do live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We may be adding another day here soon, and maybe alternating the schedule a little bit with longer streams. We'll see when that happens. But with that, I hope everybody has a good rest of your weekend. I hope Easter treated you well. Apologize for the little bit delay in videos. I had a weekend that was a little bit busy, and now back to it. But thank you once again, and everybody have a good one. I will see you in the next one.